there! My name is Mandy, and I'm going to be making some videos about Pectus Excavatum and my journey to surgical correction and recovery afterwards. So first I just, really want to simply explain what Pectus Excavatum is. And basically, it is a congenital deformity, which means you were born with it, deformity of your sternum and your cartilage. The cartilage that connects your rib cage and your sternum are deformed and bring your sternum inwards. And this can go from severe to not. If it's severe, you'll start having some symptoms, and some symptoms include fatigue, exercise intolerance, chest pain, heart malfunctions, lung malfunctions, to name a few. And it is hereditary. My dad has it, but he doesn't have it very bad. His symptoms, he doesn't really have any symptoms, but that is, how I got it. And for me, how it all started was in 7th grade. Our school had the standard scoliosis check where I was told that I did have scoliosis, and I went to the doctor, and he also pointed out that I had Pectus Excavatum, and those two conditions are usually found together. And he said, don't worry about it, it's never going to cause you any problems, and that was that. Got my scoliosis, fixed by a chiropractor, and next time I found any symptoms was in high school. I played lacrosse, and when I would run, I was always the lagger. And I could not understand because I was thin, fit, I had such a problem running. I couldn't breathe. My legs would go numb, my mouth would go numb, I'd get dizzy, my body would start tingling. So I went to the doctor, and they said that I had exercise-induced asthma, gave me an inhaler, and that really didn't help any. So once, the season was over, I stopped, and I stopped doing gym at all, like during the school year. I did it over the summer, so, I didn't have to really go through with it, and, people wouldn't have to watch me, because I felt like I just really couldn't do it. So I also had a lot of heart palpitations during high school. It was kind of a joke with my friends because I would cough and jolt forward because they were so intense. It just felt like my heart skipped or beat too hard. It was, a really weird feeling. But my symptoms got worse as I got older. Luckily, my deformity was really symmetrical. It kind of made a nice illusion of a really deep cleavage. I have a picture here of what it looks like. It's just a silly beach picture, but it shows how deep it is. My bathing suits never ever touched my skin. It was usually about an inch and a half of space between my skin and my bathing suit. And as you can see, it's real symmetrical. I did not have a problem with it. It made, my boobs look bigger than they were, so, it's fine with me. But, anyway, other symptoms as I got older, couldn't sleep on my side, just felt like I was going to snap. Everything felt real weak. Palpitations got a lot more intense. I had to like 15 to 20 a day. Definitely had a hard time still doing exercises. I did a lot of yoga, and I could not, do those deep breathing exercises, and especially if I was doing any posture where I would turn left, I could hardly breathe in at all. It was really strange. I had a lot of chest pain. I had this thing that I called my heart echo because I could feel my heartbeat all throughout my chest, from my back to the front. And if you put your hand here, you could feel my heart beating so easily. I would get dizzy a lot. I had cold hands and feet, and they'd get, numb and tingly a lot. So I went at the time, I was living in Palm Coast. I live in Florida, and I went to a doctor up there, and without even looking at me, he said, "You have costochondritis," which is arthritis in your rib cage. And I was not happy with that visit, so I came back down to Orlando, where I lived as a kid, and went to my doctor and, described what was going on, and he took a look at me, but he also came to the same conclusion, that it is probably costochondritis. So just said, take some ibuprofen when it hurts, and, it's pretty much all you could do. So, I accepted this, and time went on. It was still hurting, and one night I was rubbing where it was hurting, and I just realized, I was like, I have this giant dip here, and this is where it's hurting. Like, there's got to be some correlation with this. So that night I looked up a message board on the internet, and I'll post the address below. And that message board was a great resource for me. I was reading everyone's experiences, and everyone's stories were almost identical to mine. And this is where I found out about the surgery procedures that you could get done. So what I did was I found a pediatrician, because now, this condition is found a lot younger, and pediatricians are usually the ones that handle this. So I called up pediatricians around the area, tried to get them to see me. Nobody would see me except for the last one I called. And he agreed to see me. He was very interested in seeing an adult. And, went to see him, and he agreed. I had Pectus Excavatum, and he said it looked pretty severe, but wanted to get a CT scan. So here are some pictures. The first one is not me. It's just a picture of what a normal CT scan should look like of your chest. As you can see, it's, pretty round. Your heart has plenty of space. It is a normal shape. Your lungs have, plenty of room to breathe. This bone right here is your sternum. This is your esophagus, your spine, and this was my CT scan. So there is my sternum bone, which is, being brought inwards, crushing my heart, giving it this abnormal shape. This here is my esophagus, which is also being, squished. My spine, my lungs don't have a lot of space, to breathe. And this is just a side view of everything. So after this, I talked with the doctor, and he said that he thought surgical correction would really help me. He did the ravage technique, and that just seemed way too invasive for me. And also, he was a pediatrician. He only did it on children, so I wasn't comfortable with that. So, I did my research, and I used that message board, and I found Dr. Jaroszewski in Phoenix, Arizona, and she does the Nuss Procedure, and that is what I had done. And what that is they do incisions on both sides, and they get a bar or a crane and pull your sternum up so you have, plenty of space. And there are these bars that are shaped like C's, or they're curved, and they put them in, and then they place back down your sternum, and these bars act as braces. And you keep them in for 3 to 4 years, and then they take them out, and your cartilage and your ribcage form to this shape. So that is what I decided to have done. I contacted the Mayo Clinic and talked with Kelly Myers, who's the coordinator, and she's wonderful. I got all the tests I needed done, scheduled my surgery for September 24th, 2015, and just recently had it done. So I also have a GoFundMe page. The surgery, is not by any means cheap. And for me, having to fly out there from Florida to Arizona, that was, a lot of money too. So I do have that address to my GoFundMe if you're up to it, if you want to donate. I have that below. Luckily, my insurance did help out So that was great, but still have some expenses. Anyway, and I have some other addresses that I'll add below. And if you have any questions about Pectus Excavatum or about the Mayo Clinic in Phoenix, or getting the Nuss procedure done, feel free to write a comment and I will write you back. And now I will make some videos about the surgery itself and some recovery. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.